We got to pull up this Project Veritas story. Ladies and gentlemen, Project Veritas.
We promised.
Yes. Has dropped a crazy story. The latest FDA official blow dart African Americans with COVID vaccine is, quote, where we're going. Just shoot everyone. Calls for a Nazi Germany style registry of unvaccinated Americans. Quote, think about it like the Jewish star. What? Oh,
wait, Tim, you're not saying that, right?
No, I'm reading a headline.
No, that's
Taylor Lee, FDA economist.
The FDA economist said that.
Yes. Veritas reports they released a second video of its COVID vaccine investigation exposing a U.S. Food and Drug Administration economist Taylor Lee, who was recorded calling for forced COVID vaccinations and a registry for all of unvaccinated Americans. Lee said that U.S. government policy would emulate Nazi Germany when it comes to the COVID vaccine, saying, quote, census goes door to door if you don't respond, so we have the infrastructure to do it, forced COVID vaccinations. I mean, it'll cost a ton of money, but I think at that point, I think there needs to be a registry of people who aren't vaccinated, although that's sounding very much like Nazi Germany, he said. And so let me make sure I'm being clear. His exact quote is, so we have the infrastructure to do it. I mean, it'll cost a ton of money. And Veritas has inserted the context of the greater conversation in their quotes. He says, although that's sounding very Germany, Lee said. Nazi Germany. I mean, think about it like the Jewish star for unvaccinated Americans, he said. So just to be clear, because I want to make sure we, cross all the T's and dot all our lowercase J's. He said, although that's sounding very Germany, Nazi Germany, and then Veritas includes the context so you understand in that quote. He says, so if you put every anti-vaxxer like sheep into like Texas and you closed off Texas from the rest of the world and you go, okay, you be you in Texas until we deal with this pandemic. Lee said that due to a large portion of the African American community being hesitant to take the COVID vaccine, the solution should be to quote unquote blow dart on them. Wow.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna be very, very careful about how I read this, but here's a quote. It says, I think that a lot of the time, so there's also this issue of, I remember reading about how the COVID trials, they were having an issue recruiting African American people. It was because of a different medication the government tried to do that was specifically designed to kill African Americans. Oh, like a mistrust thing, yeah. But this COVID vaccine is safe, though. We know that now, but like, again, I think there is still this big mistrust, and it's like deep-rooted. The journalist says, yeah, I can't blame them. Lee says, I can't, but at the same time, like blow dart. That's where we're going. So hold on.
I'm watching it right now. James just texted it to me, so I'm watching here on the screen.
We always want to be, I want to make sure everything we're doing is reasonable and within context. And that's why I'm, talking about what's being said. It's one guy. It's an FDA economist. An economist is not somebody who's going to be showing up and instituting policy on the census. However, as much as that would be the immediate reaction from mainstream media saying an FDA economist is just opining on his personal
right,
opinions,
that'll
nothing
be
to do with policy.
Right.
I say, wow, the internal culture of the FDA is psychotic.
Wild.
Exactly.
And so if this is the access we're getting, we are getting a glimpse. Imagine it this way. There's a big building, big old building full of hundreds of people. And in the second floor on the top are all the administrators and all the bigwigs. And everyone in there is hanging out talking. They share a culture in the workplace. And you look through the keyhole and see a man say these things. You're like, what are they doing in that building? Yes, I understand this guy is not an administrator who's going to go around and set policy.
They actually, they clink glasses at one point. I'm watching it now. They actually, they clink glasses there.
I don't, but look,
I don't know if it's wine or water or what. But
I will say, I don't think it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
There's not going to be door to door. Maybe a registry. Like maybe people who aren't vaccinated will be tracked, because we're at that point now where they're already doing vax mandates in a bunch of the big cities. But I really do think the United States, the Republic, will completely collapse before it gets to that point.
Let me ask this question to people out there. Do you want government bureaucrats talking about you like this? Talking like government bureaucrats should never be talking like this about the American people, talking like they are drunk with power, right? Whether it's behind closed doors, whether it's at a restaurant, wherever this is, right? That's the issue here. And our question is, it seems like that's what their attitude is. And he's telling us that's what his attitude is. He's someone that is behind those closed doors. This is obviously a private conversation. And so the question is, and I've gone to this with people who are vaccine hesitant, and it's, you talk to them and it's not like there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing different about them. In fact, they're saying the same things that Joe Biden, Kamala, and a lot of the mainstream media was saying throughout 2020. They say, "Oh, we're worried." You can go to MSNBC and find
Joy
these
Reid.
clips. Joy Reid.
Here's the interesting thing.
All of it.
Joy Reid had responded to that saying, at the time, I didn't trust the CDC under Donald Trump. Now I'm okay with it. And my response to her is, yes, exactly what you said, but for Trump supporters, that under the Trump CDC, they were okay with it, and now under Biden, they don't trust it. That's the exact same thing you just said. Yep.
Right, but it's okay when she says it because she's Joy Reid.
Right.
And so the issue becomes, and this is something I've said to people that, like my position is check with your doctor. Everyone should have the freedom to choose. I'm literally pro-choice on this, but I'm also not vaccinated because I have natural immunity because I had like the real COVID. I had like the knock you on your butt, like, couldn't really, it wasn't really on Twitter for a while. I was just,
you feel it in your chest and your lungs?
A little bit in my chest. I mean, I woke up the one morning, had shakes, like legitimate shakes. And I was looking at I took my temperature and it was low, it was super low.
Wow.
And then I just threw on a bunch of like sweat, like 2 layers of sweatpants, 2 layers of sweatshirts, got back under the covers, and then my temperature shot up.
Yeah,
and
sweated out.
And it was crazy. And then so that was the first day. That was pretty much the only day I had that level of a temperature. But I just kind of hung out and ate like Vietnamese pho, and
it's incredible how
not a fan of pho.
Heavy sweating.
I love it. I love the pho.
Oh, pho's great.
Love the pho.
I want to make some.
Love the pho.
You're free to make it, Ian.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
In my castle, we do not ban.
That's right.
Pho.
I'll put it this way. Yeah, it comes with the cilantro, dude.
Yes.
Oh, the cilantro. Right.
Yeah.
Egg rolls.
I'm a good leader, so I am making sure that my share of the cilantro goes out to all.
Thank you,
of
my
the
lord.
workers.
Yeah, that's how I am with Pepper Jack.
Let them eat cilantro.
I'll make it forward.
I'm like it wasn't the flu, but it was like not fun. I wouldn't want to do it again. So I have natural immunity.
We've had a bunch of people on who, and this is really amazing because like even Alex mentioned how like COVID was scary. Like you wake up one day and all of a sudden you're out of breath constantly and you can't breathe.
I was fatigued more than anything else. I was honestly, that's what it was. It was just tired all the time.
I had a realization. I tweeted this. I'm looking at what's going on in Australia, where you've got the guys just pepper balling.
It's fascism. That's I think that's the word for it. Biofascism.
And I realized something though. I'm rich. I don't gotta follow the rules. I saw the Met Gala and the Emmys. What do I gotta worry about?
Aha! Huzzah!
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah. It's all those people that
So
are
if you're
in favor
if
of
you're
it
in a
that
certain
get
income bracket, then the rules don't apply to you.
Yes.
Anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Is that how it works?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it. I've got to, Tanya Ward does our accounting off the tail.
Yeah. So I was watching and I'm like, these people, they're being attacked. This is horrifying. And I went, wait a minute. And then I looked over at a picture of AOC and I was like, I'm rich. I don't got to worry about any of this.
You don't have to worry
so
about
all I got to
it.
do is make sure I show my bank account to Biden, obviously.
Right, of course.
And then they give you your official, you're rich and you get out of it. So this is the reason I made this. I'm making a joke, obviously, is that the people who are advocating for these policies where they will be beaten by police and pepper sprayed on the ground are not rich people. The people like AOC, the political elites, and the ultra wealthy are going to these events. They are not being bothered with, but the peasants carry her dress for her while they wear a mask.
Just the peasants, and I actually love that. I think it's Vogue. They did that like mini doc, and you can see the peasants they're carrying the dress and they're all masked.
Right.
And it reminds me of, and it pains me to say this, but actually I think when you talk about all the dystopias out there, which one are we closest to? And I think it actually is Suzanne Collins.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
The Hunger Games. Right. So in Hunger Games, remember all the servants so the capital is the elites and everyone else is out in the districts. Right. And then they send your kids to go off and die in Afghanistan. In the Hunger Games.
Right.
And and you watch it on TV and people can root for various sides. And the elites say, oh, more of that, please. Yes. And they have all their crazy hairdos and crazy dresses. But they call them the AVOXs in Hunger Games, and they all have their tongues cut out.
The servants.
Wow. And when I was looking at the mask, so AVOX, no voice.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when I was looking at all the servants surrounding AOC with the masks on, I just thought, man,
They can't speak.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Suzanne Collins, I gotta say, she nailed it.
Yeah, but I gotta be honest. It's I think it's a brave new Fahrenheit 1984 for Vendetta.
Exactly.
So Luke Rudkowski has that shirt.
Has that
where
shirt?
it's-
Yeah, I've seen
and
it.
It's like, you are here, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
you were
I
here.
think he's missing one. I think he's only got 3. Because you think about it, it's like you got 1984, you got Big Brother, censorship, spying, surveillance. You got Brave New World, video games, Instagram, this dopamine, antidepressants. You got Fahrenheit 451, where they're banning all this different stuff, which is still very similar to 1984. But in Fahrenheit 451, it was people demanding the censorship because they were offended by everything. And then you got V for Vendetta. You know what V for Vendetta was? In the movie, at least? The virus happened.
Right, the
government
virus, yeah.
Locked everybody down.
What was
in
the
a
name?
quarantine zone.
What was the name
St.
of the
Mary's
party?
virus.
Yeah.
Oh, the party. What was the party's name?
I can't think of it.
Do they have a name?
I'm not sure they
remember.
did. None of us.
Or
Yeah,
like
they
the
said party
or the
members.
new government had a name or
Yeah.
something. I forgot exactly.
But it
what
was the St. Mary's virus, I think
That's
it was
right.
called.
Yeah.
Yunmi Park was saying North Korea is the Hunger Games right now. The city, Seoul, is it Seoul is the capital of North Korea?
No, Pyongyang. Seoul is South Korea.
Pyongyang is like
Yeah.
the capital.
Right.
And everyone else is like
Well, Pyongyang is the
eating
only
human
city in
corpses. I mean,
China.
it's like
Or, North
horrific.
Korea.
No electricity.
Right.
Yeah.
Just mass.
Yeah. So North Korea.
and people get brought to the capital. They
North
get
Korea
brought to
experienced an extreme famine in the 1990s. And so now what's going on generationally is the famine generation in North Korea is attaining adulthood. So they are coming up, and because they are so stunted that their children are having issues as well. But you also had a population drop at that time because of the starvation. And so now that's leading to a second famine underneath all of this, as well as just the insane policies of that country.
They're going to collapse. I was when I saw the Met Gala and the Emmys, I'm like, these are literally Hunger Games villains.
It's crazy.
This is the capital.
I mean, how can you not? It's I wish there was some higher literature we can compare it to, but it really is Hunger Games.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, they're all dressed like crazy. But here's the thing about the Hunger Games that I wonder if who is it? Suzanne Collins.
Suzanne Collins, yeah.
Did she know about behavioral sync?
I don't know.
I'm done calling it wokeness. I'm calling it behavioral sync from now on.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You're familiar with behavioral sync in the Rat Utopia experiments? How
Go enlighten me.
confined space, unlimited food and water, and the rats basically went insane.
Oh yes. I
But
I know that term. Yeah.
But one of the things is the beautiful ones. One of the things that emerged from it was what the researcher called the beautiful ones, who would just groom themselves, just not constantly trying to poop up their hair and be looking really pretty while doing nothing else.
Get a selfie.
And that's what I see as the Met Gala. They look ridiculous, like plastic robot people. And I'm like, these are the beautiful ones. In their world of abundance with no responsibility and instant gratification, they are those who are just sitting there grooming each other. Then you get the violence in the streets, and those are the crazy violent ones.
Eric Hoffer in True Believer, the great longshoreman philosopher, had this line back in the 1950s where he said, mass movements don't usually arise among the working class because they are working.
Right.
Mass movements generally arise among the affluent and bored.
Yes.
Yep. We got nothing else to do, man. No purpose, no direction.
Well, and also because without having that, he's essentially saying there's something to the human psyche and human nature whereby to go through a meaningful rite of passage from adolescence into adulthood. Usually that's work. That's usually through work, through rigor, through taking on of responsibility. Is sort of the mantle of adulthood. However, when you have a certain level of affluence, when you have a certain level of abundance, that never happens. And so you're now missing something in your psyche that you're constantly searching for. And so that these people will create these mass movements in order to fulfill that internal need that they have.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.